we have a dream, we have a vision, and it comes off as being too hard, not necessarily possible, or there's not enough jobs or what have you, or you don't know how to make it happen. And so you end up doing what's called playing the game. You get into a job, it's going around in circles and circles, kind of like the Monopoly board where you go around in circles and circles. And the one thing you look forward to is passing go to collect your $200. And it's the same thing in your job, right? You get to this point where you know what, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I understand it, I'm good at it, and it pays the bill. And what do we do then? We live for the weekends, right? We look forward to Saturday and Sunday, and we're just inconvenienced by those 5 work days in between. So that's the life we kind of get into sometimes. And it's very hard to move out of that rut. We're going around in circles and circles, feeling like, you know what? I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure how to get there. So let's talk about how to get there. Essentially, there's 3 ways, just 3 ways out of any job whatsoever you're in. The first one is death. And not only does it get you out of jobs, it gets you out of a lot of stuff, actually, right? Now, I'm going to guess that most of you prefer not to die in order to get out of a job that you're not necessarily thrilled to be in at the given time, right? And I'm going to even go out on a limb here and say some of you have a boss that even if you died today, they'd still expect you to show up for at least a half day tomorrow, right? So death is one way out, but not the preferable way out. The next way out is involuntary separation. In involuntary separation, this is when someone else is deciding that it's time for you to exit that job, right? So you're not in control of this. This is up to chance, which is why you have the dice up there. And there's a few ways this happens. First of which, you're fired, right? How many folks have been fired before? Couple hands up. Good for you guys. I'm glad you admit it. Every time I ask that question in group, I always see at least one person, and then they look around and say, well, I think I'm the only one in the room. For the record, guys, Apple fired Steve Jobs. So the company gets it wrong every once in a while, right? Yeah. So firing is one way you can go out. You're not planning to go out, but that changes your career path and trajectory when that happens, right? The second way we know about as well, you are being strategically realigned, laid off. And it comes in all kinds of cool packages. We're reallocating our resources, all this great stuff, but the bottom line is still the same. Your position is going away, your role has changed because someone else has made a decision that that needs to happen. And the crazy thing about this is you can't even predict it anymore, right? You can be doing a great job, and the company can be doing great. I think back to 2013, where Walgreens, headquartered right here in Illinois, announced at the end of the year they had record earnings, the best they had ever done in their history. And while people are still celebrating that and jumping up and down, they then announced we're laying off 15% of our staff as well. Just like that. How did that conversation go, guys? So you walk to the CEO's office, right? I got some great news. This last year, we had record earnings. We did better than we ever did before. And the response to that somehow was, that's great. Let's get rid of all the people that made that happen. That's our strategy for the forthcoming year, right? So again, unexpected things. Now let's say you survive the layoff. Well, then you probably get some additional duties, or maybe your role is going to be changed. So once again, something happens where you're now off your planned trajectory. So these things we're all very familiar with. We all know about being fired. We all know about being laid off and possibly your role being reassigned or adjusted based upon layoffs. But there's one other thing that happens that in my experience of speaking to hundreds of people as a career advisor and as an HR director, this actually gets more people off of their track than any of those things, all of those things combined.